Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Ninja the Ninja, and let's get started with a brand new week of wrestling, starting with Monday Night Raw. So guys, welcome back to the show, and I hope y'all enjoy your weekend. I hope you enjoy your 4th. Hope everybody was safe and sound during your holiday. I know me and my family was. We was okay. It was good. We had a decent holiday. But some of the big news of the week I have saw today, or I think even yesterday, um, Sheamus, um, a 19, 20-year veteran in WWE has been released, or he did not sign his contract, so he is no longer a part of WWE. And he was almost a Grand Slam champion. All he was missing, I believe, was the Intercontinental Championship, and that would have made him an all-around Grand Slam in the company. But he decides to walk away and leave 19, 20 years behind to probably go somewhere else, probably AEW, where most of all his former colleagues are going over there too. I might have to check out AEW. I might gotta watch it or so every blue moon to see what's going on. But that's pretty much the big news of the week. And for Monday Night Raw, I really I kind of have high hopes, but not too much. Hopefully we get some insight on the Roman thing later on in the show, and I'll definitely let you know what happened. But after all that, let's get started with the show. So guys, the show opens up with Cody and Sammy, and basically Sammy is talking his trash once again to Cody, saying that's like, what, tonight you're gonna just take this championship back from me, and then you'll be the golden boy once again, you'll be the champion. But guess what, you're not. I'm still gonna be the champion, Cody. And just rubbing it in Cody's face, and Cody's like, you know what, you're right, you will. So then after they have like a stare down, Gunther comes out of nowhere and like just beats the crap out of Cody, like does a powerbomb to Cody on the tables in the back, and then smashes his head against a car, and basically Gunther tells Sammy he's gonna get his championship back. So the main event tonight between Cody and Sammy, we don't know. It might not even happen, but guess we'll see in a few hours or so how that's gonna turn out to be. So the next thing, we get a very long promo from Seth Rollins, and I'm gonna just cut it short. Basically, it's Seth Rollins saying that he is trying to keep up with Roman Reigns the best way how he could due to the history of him and Roman. He also goes over saying that when they first started, they was a trio, and Roman from the very beginning was destined to be the star out of everybody else. That's why he has all the push, the money, everything under the sun that Roman has. He has it due to him being already favored between Steph and probably Dean Ambrose. But Steph goes on and saying that he doesn't want to be like that, like Roman. He wants to be a fighter. He wants to claw. He wants to work hard to get to the top instead of just being handed over everything. And that's why he did everything that he needed to do from the very beginning, from crossing the shield, from cashing in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, just going over the history between him and Roman, and saying that he needs to beat Roman to basically get back the championship that he never lost. And so then LA Knight comes around, and LA Knight cuts this random promo about Roman and the bloodline, saying that how he always been cheated out of championships no matter what happens, no matter who he's dealing with. It's talking about the vision, the bloodline, somebody else, that he is always being screwed and getting the bad end of the stick. And he's tired of it, and he's basically trying to make himself known to Steph. And Steph is basically like, you know what, you're right, but I mean, what do you want me to do about it? Or, that's how I took it. Like, okay, you getting screwed over, but where's stuff got to do with anything you got going on? But anyway, so basically, I think them two are gonna have a match later in the show. But at the end, Jimmy Uso ended up super kicking LA Knight and telling LA Knight to keep his family's name out of his mouth. So maybe, I don't know, maybe LA Knight and Jimmy gonna run it back. I don't know. Guess we'll see. So y'all, we get another segment with Gunther, GM Nick Aldis, GM Adam Pearce, and all three of them are arguing within each other. And Gunther is still throwing shots at Nick Aldis, calling him a failed wrestler. And Nick Aldis was fussing at Gunther back. And so basically, Gunther get carried out from them and put outside. So basically, GM Adam was basically rubbing it in the face of Nick Aldis on how he got suspended the first time for arguing with Gunther, and then asked him did he want to get suspended permanently. And Nick Aldis had some words to GM Adam Pearce, basically saying that he didn't like how he ran his show on Friday. And Adam Pearce was like, well, if you wasn't getting in trouble with the wrestlers, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But it doesn't matter because I'm running both shows. And basically, he just told Nick Aldis to deal with it. So, I love this. I love the beef between them two. It's so funny. So, y'all, we had the first match of the night, and it was the Street Profits versus the Vision for the Tag Team Championship. Now, before the match even started, the Vision and Paul Heyman had some words, and basically Paul Heyman gave the Vision an ultimatum: win the Tag Team Championships back, or you lose Paul Heyman as a wise man and everything else to the Vision. So that was weighing heavy on the Vision's heads. So then the match starts, and it was an okay match, a typical tag team match, really nothing too crazy until the end. So Logan Paul always brings out the brass knuckles, and he tries to use them. It didn't work. So then Angelo Dawkins ended up getting a hold of it, and he's trying to hit Austin Theory with them. But then out of nowhere, Maxine Dupree comes and basically hits Angelo Dawkins and the Family Jewels, and that ended up causing the Street Profits to lose, and the Vision is the new tag team champions again, which I'm honestly not happy about, because I feel like it was just a waste of our time giving the championships back to the Street Profits. But I'm pretty sure they're gonna take this again to SummerSlam, but I guess we'll see. So y'all, after the match, you see the Vision basically celebrating their win against the Street Profits, and basically you see Paul Heyman basically congratulating them and saying this is the first step, and he is proud that everybody is changing. And as Austin Theory was trying to take the credit for that, he actually pointed to Maxine Dupree. And so I guess that's gonna be over with Maxine Dupree and the Alpha Academy, because Tozawa and Otis came from around the corner after the Vision and all them left. So I don't know. I'm excited for this. I've been waiting for a long time for this. So the next segment, we see the Judgment Day, and they're basically hyping up Raquel for her match against Sol Ruca. And Raquel said that she's going to beat Sol Ruca and become the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. And the Judgment Day is going to try to get all the titles back. So, y'all, we get a quick little Penta segment. And it's just Kathy, I believe, asking Penta about his opinion about his next future opponents for the Intercontinental Championship. And he started naming a couple people. So then Ethan Page and Rusev noticed that they didn't get called as one of Penta's list of people. So they go ahead and try to bully Penta, but then the Dragon League comes around and basically tell them, look, me and you, let's have a match later on in the night. So it's going to be probably Penta and Dragon League versus Ethan and Rusev later. So y'all, we have our second match of the night, and this was also for a title. You had Soruka and Raquel of the Judgment Day, and this is also another match that I did not really care for, but as you expected, all the lady members of the Judgment Day try to get involved, try to help Raquel get the Intercontinental Championship, but it didn't work. Io Sky King with a distraction ended up jumping off of a barricade and smashing to Roxanne and Liv. And basically, Raquel got distracted, and Soul hit a Soul Snatcher on Raquel and retained her Intercontinental Championship. So, y'all, the next segment of the night, we have Paul Heyman, and he is basically doing his normal Paul Heyman duty of hyping up the mess out of Brock Lesnar, saying that he was a UFC champion, saying that how he beat Undertaker in Hell in a Cell twice, and the crazy thing is, Undertaker made Hell in a Cell, but he got beaten in his own game. And it's just him going on and on about Brock Lesnar. What he should. He is his wise man. He is his personal person. So it's gonna go like there. So then Paul Heyman calls out basically Obafemi, how Obafemi is not gonna beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So then Obafemi comes and he says his 2 cents about how he claims that Brock Lesnar is listening or watching the shows. Because last week Brock Lesnar said he just watched the show. He just wait until he gets to Paul and Paul tells him everything. But since Brock Lesnar showed up last week and did what he did for me last week, that tells you that Brock is watching and he is listening to the show when it's actually happening. That's why he showed up. So basically, he said tell Brock Lesnar that he is going to beat Brock Lesnar in Minnesota in front of his family, wife, and children. And basically, the way how you get to heaven is you gotta walk through hell. And he told Paul Heyman, I'll see Brock Lesnar in hell. So basically, another hype for this match, which I really hope they do not play in our faces. Oh my god. It's like they'll do these good promos and then the match be like lackluster. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do about this match in general. But who knows? So then it jumps to, I know earlier I said Kathy, but actually it was Jackie. She's doing the interviews today. She catches up with Sammy and basically asks Sammy about what did he think about Cody's situation, since he got jumped earlier by Gunther. And Cody is like, you know what? I guess we're not going to have the match. I'll just go on SmackDown on Friday and see what's going to happen about my championship. And, you know, he just trying to, like, weasel his way out of the match. But then GM Adam Pearce is like, no, you're going to have a match with somebody tonight. It's going to be official, but we don't know who it's going to be yet. So, I'll tell y'all whenever that happens later in the show. So, y'all, we had the next match of the night. We had Dragon Lee and Chad Gable going against Rusev and Ethan Page. And it was a decent tag team match. I can't really say nothing too exciting about it. It's just a regular tag team match for bragging rights from earlier Penta's interview with Jackie. Ethan and Rusev respecting all of them. So, like I said, it was a decent tag team match. Wasn't nothing too exciting. But at the end, Rusev and Ethan Page picked up the win against Dragon Lee and Chad Gable. But Rusev put his finisher on Dragon Lee and then wouldn't let go. So then Chad had to come in. Then he put Chad inside his submission. And then he couldn't get out. So then Joe Henry come out. And then he tries to help Chad and Dragon Lee. And he didn't get nowhere. He also got put in Rusev's finisher. So that pretty much tells you that Rusev and Ethan are still a decent, good semi-tag team, or whatever they are right now. I guess they're a tag team. I don't know. But Yeah, that was that match. So then we get another segment when Jackie is trying to catch up with Jimmy Uso, and basically before he can even say anything about what happened with him and LA Knight earlier, LA Knight tries to come back and jump Jimmy, but then Jika Fatu comes out and just smashes LA against the wall, and basically them two just roll out to the sunset. And that was it for that. I don't know why we needed to see that, but I guess they wanted to show us that, I guess. So the next thing, we get a little vignette of Bailey, her expressing her feelings about Lyra, and basically feeling like she's been used and disrespected by Lyra, and telling the story how her and Lyra met, how Lyra met Bailey as a fan, and then becoming the first ever women's intercontinental champion. And I guess her and Bailey are going to probably have some type of standoff next week or whenever to address everything in the room. So I guess we're gonna have that. So then it jumps to Adam and GM Nick Aldis again, and Adam looks like he's about to lose a gasket because he couldn't find anyone to replace Cody for the championship match tonight. But then Nick Aldis comes around the corner and just like oop doo 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 around the corner, and he's like, I made a successful call for Sammy's potential opponent tonight, so you can just thank me. And Adam is like, why are you here? Why are you here? And once again, Nick says, I found an opponent for Sammy, and he is in the building, and he will be here during the match. And you can just hear the fans in the back chanting CM Punk. And they are in Chicago, so it could be a possibility of CM Punk. Or I'm thinking maybe, I don't even know. Probably like Gunther. It's only somebody random, I'm pretty sure. But I'll tell y'all who that will be. So y'all, we had the final match of the night. We had Sami Zayn versus CM Punk for the Undisputed Championship. Now, this was a great match. There was a great match from beginning to the end. I enjoyed every single part of this match. And I was expecting CM Punk to come out because of the way how the fans were reacting. In the rumors I saw that they said he was going to be there in Chicago. But I was not expecting for CM Punk to come out as the winner and the new Undisputed Championship. I was honestly thinking that Gunther or Cody was going to come back out and sabotage Sammy, and then CM Punk will get involved, and it's going to be some type of weird, fatal four-way situation. But my expectation was wrong. So CM Punk is the new champion. I honestly was thinking that Sammy was gonna hold this until the next pay-per-view and then lose it just because. But yeah, that was the surprise of the night. I don't think no one was expecting that to happen, for him to win, CM Punk to win. But that ended up being the end of the show. So I guess we're gonna have another CM Punk Summer Championship run until he gets tired and beat up, and then he's gonna leave for another 3-4 months. But this was the end of the show. So thank you for hanging out with me today. Thank you for your support, and thank you for always showing up, even if it's only a few of you who watches the video. I still appreciate everything y'all do. But I think this Monday night was okay. I think that Maxine and Austin, and then this match in particular, kind of made me like it, but I still didn't really care for anything else going on. Oh, and GM Adam and GM Nick Aldis little thing they had going on, that was so funny too. But yeah, I think those were my favorite moments of the night. and I hope that we get to see more of that next Monday. But after all that, I once again want to say thank you for watching, and please be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the socials. I'm gonna put it over here on this side. Be sure to look at it. I do post other content on my socials than on the long version of the videos I make here, so give them a look, check them out, share them if you want to share them with your friends and family. But after all that, be blessed, love one another, and mental health matters. Bye.